This conference will now be recorded.
You able to see my screen, right? Furnish, like you can see the presentation, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, let me just.
Hello.
Yeah. So Furnish, you might already know. I want to just before jumping into the basic of CAG, we will just quickly start a 5 minutes overview of Ariba. Okay. So
Yeah, sure.
basic. Yeah. So basically, if you can see this, right? So Ariba was there long back. Basically, it's a on-premise in the initial stage, and which was not a part of SAP. So around in 2012, right? What exactly happened? SAP in the market, instead of creating a new tools, right? What they have done, they identified Ariba is something good for indirect procurement. So they acquired Ariba, and they also observed Conquer is something uh, which can helpful in the expenses, and SuccessFactors is something which is useful for HR onboarding. So many big players like SAP, Oracle, like big companies, right? Instead of building something from the scratch, they have started a initiative such a way, whatever the tool they want, which was already there in the market in a good phase, they were just acquiring that, adding something. So what Ariba has done, SAP has done, like they acquired Ariba, they basically made it a cloud solution, and it has become an SAP product, and it started much more demand than earlier. Same way it happened to Conquer some other tools as well. So that's the picture of Ariba, like how it started and how it was going. So in I think in 2016 or something, it was identified as the one of the best SAP, one of the tool of SAP, that a cloud solution. So people started using, like, so who are, let's say for example, who which are the clients who already have SAP system, right? Maybe ERP or S4HANA, where in the SAP MM they used to manage all the procurement, like direct, indirect, special procurements. So the SAP started promoting Ariba, basically saying this is good for indirect procurement, and many companies which were already having SAP system, right? They have just started implementing Ariba. So that's the one picture. So basically, like in SAP Ariba, right, you have all the modules end to end. Like Ariba is like a S2P, source to pay. So from sourcing to till payment, Ariba has a capability. Ariba, and but it's only for the indirect procurement. Like the S2P process will only work for the indirect procurement. Why so? Because Ariba, when it got launched, right, it's basically set up such a way it is only meant for indirect procurement. So it doesn't have any inventory to support the direct procurement or special procurement. So this is the backdrop of Ariba,
Yeah.
and you can know, like, basically the Ariba is the largest business B2B procurement solutions, uh, and basically the end agenda of Ariba is like to make the procurement awesome and remove the complexity. And I can give a simple example. Let's say, for example, there is a user who want to create some order. Let's say there's some office party happening. He want to order some food or something, something else. Let's say, for example, they don't have Ariba. If they want to create some purchase order in SAP, the user must remember the T code to go to the screen. He should also remember the material number assigned to the particular items. or the community code. Lot of things to be remembered, like to create some purchase order or something. But when coming to Ariba, right? Let's say we want to order laptops. The user can easily search for the laptop and he can order it. Like, and even the user do something, you always have the approval place. So even if they ask it, the user might ordered some wrong product. So basically, this was happening. Like, if you this makes clear, right? The agenda of Ariba is to basically the non-procurement users with the basic knowledge should able to do procurement. That's the agenda. I mean to say, like, yeah. Simply like the general users of the non-procurements, right? They can easily do the procurement with Ariba. Going to SAP, remembering all the things and everything. So this is up to this, and yeah. Uh, So this PPT might not complete. Yeah. So talking about SAP Ariba, right? The solutions basically, if you go into market, right? Basically, they will ask you like, if you say Ariba, they will basically say, are you upstream consultant or downstream consultant? And the CIG came recently. I mean, not. I mean, a couple of years ago. But earlier it's like upstream or downstream, and basically these are the different models. Upstream basically comes with the suppliers and sourcing and contract. Downstream is complete P2P cycle. So why it's basically happened is like upstream is nothing. So basically things will flow from the uh, contracts and sourcing to procurement. I mean to say, whatever the company, if they are doing some procurement in the past, there might be some sourcing or contract for sure happen. If not, they can't do the procurement, right? So what are the things you are procuring now? In past there should be some sourcing or the contact might be happen, might be in the system level, if not on a phone call or something. So that's the thing, like they didn't upstream like from the all the things if you do in the basic stuff, and you do the procurement in downstream such a way it's a different actually. And apart from this, right, basically Ariba has upstream, downstream, and you recently have the CAG. And one more thing, we also have Ariba, we have the guided buying solution. And apart from that, you also have Ariba network where it has two things. One is the supply network, other the buyer network. Now currently it was they were calling as business network. Even CAG they have changed the name to some other name actually. So it's nothing like recently SAP Ariba people are just changing the naming conventions. That's all. So these are the things in Ariba, and you also have.
What is the
Sorry, can you come again?
what is the other name of CIG now they have changed?
I think it's gateway. They're saying gateway portal or something. Gateway. So they're calling us
Oh,
gateway actually.
okay. When they
Cloud
have
gateway.
changed?
Sorry, it's like
When they have changed that?
it's I think 6 months ago I think. So you are aware about this
Okay.
quarterly release? Like basically SAP people will do the quarterly release. Are you aware of that? Like every quarter.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, yeah. In that quarterly, they have done it. So basically, in the quarterly releases, right, we will basically have these naming changes, and basically in the quarterly stuff, we have three things like different. Like one is Ariba enable, one is self enable. Such a things will be there. So basically, in the quarterly releases, right, these things will be done like naming changes, some UA changes, and some parameters should be enabled. Yeah, such a things. And
Mm-hmm.
Ariba, they have changed the naming as called business network actually.
Yeah, and Ariba network they have changed to business. Yes.
Your business network. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
these are the different, like as a Ariba consultant, right? You'll be having these things like upstream, downstream. In upstream, you have SLP, sourcing, content. Downstream, you have complete B2B cycle. Then you'll be hearing about the guided buying, and you'll also hear about the CIG. And one more thing, Ariba network. These are the most things you can hear. And also, you can also hear about the Ariba Connect. Like Ariba Connect is nothing but, and even Ariba Connect, right now they are calling it Ariba Help Portal or something. Even
Mm-hmm.
that naming was changed recently. So Ariba Network is nothing but
Mm.
the platform to reach the SAP Ariba people for some enhancement, some basic tickets and everything. Like how it's communicating with the SAP, and also you can found the related to knowledge documents and lot of stuff over there actually.
Yes.
So these are the different names you'll be hearing. And recently you might also hear like SCC, like a supply chain, Ariba supply chain collaboration. So that's a new thing. So it's and you also might heard commerce automation, like basically what exactly happened, right? So mostly the Ariba initially when it came, right, as it's an indirect procurement tool, and many people are asking, can we use Ariba for the direct procurement? So even though we can't use SAP Ariba, the upstream and downstream, what we have done, we have connected our SAP system to Ariba network for direct procurement. That's basically called as commerce automation. For that, if you extend more and if you start integrating more and you do from the forecast planning everything, right, that complete architecture is called SCC, like supply chain collaboration. So
Mhm.
initially this commerce automation came place to extend more and to have complete architecture, right, this SCC came into picture, supply chain collaboration. So these two are nothing but basically managing your direct or special procurement from your SAP system to Ariba network. Yep. So
Mhm.
why we have integrated system? Because basically Ariba network, right? You will be having millions of pre-qualified and best suppliers, so you can do your required business basically. Yeah, basically Ariba supply network is nothing. Will have a millions of qualified suppliers, so the business can get their best prices or the best material from the suppliers. So this is the complete picture I can
Mhm.
say, all the modules, everything. And talking about guide buying, so basically if you opt for the downstream, let's say for example you took the P2P solution. So basically whoever opt some downstream, like it's a P2P or P2O, right? Ariba will always give the guided buying solution for free. So guided buying is some separate portal. Uh, it's like similar to if I compare the SAP ERP S4HANA, right? So in S4HANA, we basically have the normal login with the T codes and we also have field screens where you just enter the name. It's something to give better user experience. The field screens came into picture into the SAP. Same way, Ariba has a guide buying. It's a separate login where the user can have different tiles. I mean, to give better experience
Yeah.
and easy procurement. I think you already know it, guided buying and everything.
Yes, guided buying, I know. Yeah. But guided buying, I have one doubt. Guided buying is will come in this downstream package only, or do we have to buy it separately?
No, it's free of cost.
It's free of cost.
So customer who are is having that downstream, right? They Ariba by default give the guide buying. You need to ask them to enable. But only thing why many customer doesn't implement, because if you have using guide buying, right, there should be additional consultant.
Mhm.
Let's say for example, if the product support was going in the downstream, if you also have guide buying, right, for sure you need one more consultant, because in the guideline, right, we should always create some new tiles, update something. So the support is keep on going. So if the company really want to use the guideline, right, then only they'll go for it, like.
Mhm.
What's the free
Okay.
of cost in the package? It's the free of cost, but the only thing I observed, like, because you need to upload a lot
Mhm.
of things and do a lot of stuff and managing. So people who feel okay, we are fine with the this thing, that will be fine. And basically with the guide buying, right, it will be good visualization for the user. And also one more thing in the guide buying, uh, you don't have there any settings. I mean, let's say for example, if the user was given to Ariba system access, unfortunately, if the user got some admin access, like some unfortunately some for a normal user, someone had some admin access, then what will happen? The user can access the core admin something else. But coming to guide buying, right? There will not be any settings. It's a front end of Ariba. That's all. Both are already integrated, and also when it come to guide buying, right, there will not be any sort of integration. Why? Because the guide buying is part of your Ariba solution. So there's a replication like front end also.
Mhm. Okay.
Any doubt, like?
No, I don't have any doubt.
Okay. And these are the something, the examples I shown you, like why the Ariba is a competitor something when compared to MM, right? We have these particular things like. So in MM, these are the basic stuff like, and one more thing, Ariba, right? Yeah, it can be it's a cloud, right? So with a simple link, you can access from your mobile, tablet, something. So it will very good for the approval, right? For the manager's approval, right? They can simply approve from the email or the tablet or something. So it will digital like digitalization, I can say. Something like, let's say you want to order something the Flipkart or Amazon, it's Ariba is a similar solution.
What is it there? Ariba, there will be no approval flow for PO. There are PO approval for, right?
No, no.
The
See,
last sentence.
Yeah, Ariba doesn't have approval for PO. It's right,
That
right? You got my point?
requisition,
Yeah,
no,
that's what.
but
See,
purchase.
you go to if you go to SAP, right? See, in SAP, how things will work. In SAP MM, you can have approval for the PR. You can have approval for PO. But in Ariba, there will never be a approval for PO. We only have the approval for the PR, and the PO will be automatically created. So that's the one differentiation. Like,
Okay.
yeah, when it comes to SAP MM, right? It's up to you. You define approval for PR where the PO will create automatically. If not, you keep approval for PR, you keep approval for PO. If not, you remove the PR, directly create a PO which will have approval. It's up to you in SAP like.
Mm.
But in Ariba, you can never set a approval for PO. You basically set a approval for PR. Once the PR is approved, right, PO will be created. That's the standard process of Ariba, I can say. Like. So the sentence
Oh,
means like in
okay.
Ariba, there will be no approval for PO is something like PO, there will not be approval. The PR only it will have. But I think you already know, right? In
Mm.
MM, we can set for PR, PO. You can play around, like it's up to you. You can work such a way. If the PR is approved, PO will be created. If not, you can only set the PR such a way you can play here and there.
Okay.
Clear? Like,
I got it. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And
I
other
got it.
things, yeah. So other things I think you already know, like procurement awesome, tablets and counted, yeah, digital signatures, like complete contracts can do the digital way, and much digitalization, like the negotiation, everything. So even the sourcing required for SAP MM is also many companies are using from Ariba because of its functionalities and everything, different events and everything. I think this flow was mixing actually the PO invoice flow was mixing, but it's just requisition to receive like P204 like how the requisition will be like composing some of the basic stuff. This I think is not required for them. Yep. So this is some cycle of Ariba. You can see right the Ariba sourcing starts, the contracting happen, and from the contracting you create the requisition and invoicing everything. Like, some just basic flow like. Then coming to yeah, so this is like just over in Ariba. So basically, this is the differentiation I can say, and also let's say for example, uh, even the upstream and downstream things, right? It's up to you. Like I mean, the customer, the client, and you how can do the. Let's say for example, you can take the P2O solution on downstream. You can take only content on upstream. So these combination, like if you have the combination of upstream and downstream, it's basically called the Ariba suite integration. Like and earlier, right, long back for upstream and downstream, there are two different systems actually. Logins like it's like around I think 2018, 19, right when I was working. For upstream we have separate login. For downstream we have separate login, like two different Ariba logins. So later these got merged and basically when the customer was opting both the solution right in a single URL they're getting, and this is basically called Ariba suite integration. And it's up to you, like you can the downstream you can select P2O or P2P. In upstream out of three you can select only contract. It's up the client requirement. Yeah,
Yes.
clear, right? Just what
Yeah,
is
this is
the
about Ariba. Yes.
yeah, Ariba, yeah.
But no approval flow that just compare it in MM. So where in MM there is no approval flow, but in Ariba there will be approval flow, right?
No, no, I mean to say, yeah, I'll go to that. So you mean to say this point, right? Last point, right?
Yeah, that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So here if you say in Ariba, there will be no approval flow for PO. It's mean in Ariba, we don't have any approval flow for PO. The approval flow is only for the requisition. But when it's come to MM, right, uh, we can set up approval for PO as well. But in Ariba, we can't never set it.
yeah, that's what. After PR, we have approvals, and after that, it will go to PO. Automatically, order will be generated.
Yeah, automatic PO creation.
So,
Let's
yeah,
say a
yeah,
simple
yeah.
example in
But in,
MM, right? Let's say
but in
for
MM,
example,
PO approval flow is there.
sorry, voice is
But in
breaking.
MM, PO approval flow is there.
Exactly. In MM, you can set
Yeah, so
approval for PO as well. Like once the PO is created, instead of sending the PO directly to the supplier, the PO can be sent to an approval in MM. But in Ariba, that's not the case.
oh, yeah, yeah. So simplified version.
That's a differentiation. So even in interviews or
Yeah.
something, right? It's something tricky. Like many people ask, uh, how do you configure the approval for PO in Ariba? And you will say you can have
Hmm.
this rule, that rule. The intention of interview is like in Ariba, PO doesn't have any approval, it's automatic creation of document. It is some tricky question, that's all like.
Okay.
Clear, right? You know.
Yes, yes.
Yep. So once we start the training, right? First couple of 3 days, we will go a little deeper. Like whatever I told you, right? We'll go a little deeper, like upstream what the models will be, and I will be we'll have some certain documents, everything. Yeah, later we can discuss.
But now it is only this thing, right? CIG. I just had to CIG.
Huh, right, right.
So now you'll explain the overview of CIG, like how many sessions you will conduct. Can you just brief guide? So today is like 29th. I think this is a demo class. I don't expect much in depth. But of course, the usual class will be on from second. So how do you?
Yeah, so basically we will be having uh, at least like 20 to 25 hours, minimum like 20 to 25. Uh, yeah,
Okay.
20 to 25 hours I can say. And
Mm.
basically first hard like in the initial couple of hours, like first 3 hours or something, right? You will just quickly walk through complete Ariba and the CAG basic thing, like what is and everything. I mean that's theoretical something. Then rest 20 to 22 hours, right? We'll complete on CAG. Like we'll be going through document, we'll go through system, and we will be watching each and every setting. So as I mentioned you,
Okay.
right, we have some document actually which I prepared. So if you see this document, right, so this is like when I had done some implementation from from the local client. So if you can see my screen, right? So in this
Yeah, I can
document
see your
there will be,
screen. Can you just zoom it?
so
Zoom or something.
okay, okay. So in the document, right, I have put every screenshot like step by step. Like if you want to do the CAG implementation, right, from start to end, like each and step, even the all the things. So only thing we might not have, because thing is like the custom mapping we need to check for it, because the test system which we are having, right, that particular system might or might not have the custom field. If the custom fields are there, right, we can try with some mappings. But if not there, right, I can show you the location, like where the mappings will happen and everything as well. So that's the only thing. Rest we can play everything. Like we can go to, so whatever the document have every screenshot, right? In the system I can show you everything in SAP. In Ariba also I will show everything, and even Ariba, right, I can create the provides for you, like these particular provides and everything, like yeah. So this document, right, will have everything end to end. As I mentioned, only thing is the custom. fields will differ, which will change from the client to the client. Like some people might have custom, some might not have, and even though some have the custom fields, their mapping might be different. Apart from that, right, we will have everything like here over the, like till and like all the things, like even the master data integration, everything will be covering like.
Oh,
And once the training is done, I will be sending this document. So let's say, for example, if you got a near future,
sorry.
you I mean to say, once the training is done, we'll be sharing the document with you. So let's say in the near future you got some CIG project, then with the help of document, max to max you can try to implement the CIG. So only as I mentioned, some custom fields, something new might. Let's say for example, the things will be always updating, right? Something new will be happening. So what we basically do, right? If you, let's say for example, post the training, if you got some CIG thing, with this help of the document, you can start implementing CIG. And if you feel, if you got some questions right, then you can download the Ariba general document which is having 500 pages. There you can search with the keyword. Let's say for example, you want to understand more about the port definition. You can search there. So it will save some lot of time, and also having this document will build some confidence for you. Because what I observed is for the CIG implementation, the documentation is something is too bigger and people can't go deeper and see each and every step for the implementation. So that's the reason we have customized and we have done this when we have done one of the implementation actually for the local client actually.
Okay, just a second. I'll just join from another network. Just a second. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So you were saying something, like in the voice in the middle, your voice
Yeah.
got.
So yeah, what I was saying is basically, so if you, I think you know about the Ariba workbooks, right? If you go to Ariba and right, let's say if you want to learn about something procurement, you will have some workbook actually. It will be a lot of PDF documents, right? If you know those things, right? So
Yeah,
in
those
Ariba,
PDF documents for SAP given by SAP are very large and
yeah, typical.
very
Yeah,
confusing.
same thing coming to CAG, right? If you download the CAG implementation, like the initial when I was implementing CAG, right? There was nothing
Mm.
from the market. Basically, from that document, we used to slowly search and do an R&D do something because that's the only standard document people use actually, and it is a too longer actually. That's the one thing people lose the confidence of implementing CAG. So what we have done, right, as an initial step with the document when we are implementing, right, we took the request screenshots like all the things like, and we have made a document so that with this document we can implement the CAG, and if we feel any sorry initial information required, then you can go to workbook, that 500 pages wala. That's the thing initiative we took on. So one more thing, right? CAG basically is the involvement of multiple consultants. Like I mean, like when the CAG implementation happening, Ariba consultant will be there, the basis consultant will be there, and MM consultant will also be there. Let's say if the Ariba consultant is also MM consultant, only one person will be there. It's differ from client to client. Like so, basically, these are the requirement. Like if the CAG implementation should happen, right? We require these people like the basis consultant, MM consultant, and Ariba consultant. If the Ariba consultant have the SAP MM knowledge, it's like Ariba consultant and the basis consultant. Together with these consultants will also work with SAP Ariba to implement, install the packages and enable something and everything. And if they get some many error, right, we'll go to SAP Ariba. That's the way of working for the implementation actually.
Okay. But what about the server things that we have that you provide from ExpertSoft? That how do you go through that server thing? How do we practice it when you teach us?
Yeah. So basically, the server at SAP, let's say for example, if I go some screenshot of SAP, let's say see this is a something we enable something in SAP. Okay. So the server which we have already this CAG implementation was done. So in SAP, these particular settings will already be enabled. So in the server, what we can do while I was showcasing, I can show you the path and I can show you the settings. So while you're practicing, right, you can also go to the SAP system and you can see the required settings, like what are the settings, everything was fine. And coming to Ariba, right, you can see the existing settings. And in Ariba, what you can do, you can create some test projects to understand the better. But from SAP side, we don't have anything to create. Like only thing we can click and see all the settings. That's all. But Ariba side, you can play a little more. You might not able to send the data to your project, but you can create some test projects. Like let's say for example, you want to integrate Ariba with SAP for your procurement. For that, you need to create some project in Ariba that you can create. Like you can create, even though that cannot be sent to SAP, you can see okay for the project creation this was happening. Let me show that screenshot for you in the last. I think. Yeah, you can see the screenshot, right? Ariba was the screenshot. This one is Ariba. Okay. So in Ariba, those particular projects will already created, but we can create some dummy projects and also we can play the system. In SAP, we can just only view and nothing, not required to create something new actually. That's the basic setting actually. But Ariba, you can create some test projects, you can play with the system. So once that once the training is done, the training in between, right? The actually provide you in S for HANA, you can see all the required settings like because everything was already enabled. I mean the integration already happened, right? You can see. Sorry, Ariba, you can see the existing settings and you can also play the system. You can create some new projects. So with this guide, you can say, okay, creation of project for procurement. I need to select this. and I need to give this. So you can create some test file for yourself. That practice you can do. Yeah. Even like everywhere, even let's say for example in your organization, for example, you have the CIG and the SAP axis. Even there, you can do the same. Everything is already linked up.
Mm.
You can go to SAP and see the already enabled settings. In Ariba, you can see already enabled settings, and for your practice, you can create some new code. That's all. Like I mean to say, even the system with us are everywhere. Only thing, if the CAG was implementing the scratch, if you got option, then only you can able to create the real-time setting in SAP. Apart from that, we can never create. We can only see the settings in SAP because it's a one-time activity, right? We already have system connected, everything enabled, so we can just view the things actually. Uh, Clearly, any doubt on that? Like,
So CIG in server, so we cannot create anything. We can only see the settings. So we cannot send the data from Ariba to CIG and we cannot test it. Is it?
in CAG server, you can create the things.
Okay.
Uh, and with the existing setting you can send the data and everything, you can create the new things. But in S4 HANA we can't recreate the settings. Let's say if I open some screenshot SAP required setting, right? In SAP basically things will be such a way you need to create some ports, you need to enable some settings like SAP MM all settings. These things uh, we doesn't have much option to create, even though you can create, but it will not work actually. But in Ariba you can create some much settings and everything, I mean to say. So the CA
Okay.
implementation is such a way parallel, like you need to enable something in SAP, you need to enable something in Ariba, you need to enable something here and there. So basically, Ariba, matlab, I mean the CAG portal. So in the CAG portal, you can do everything. But I mean to say in S4 HANA, you can see whatever the things happen. You can just click on modify and you can add something if you want to do something. That's all.
Okay. But from the
So
scratch, we cannot do anything in S4 HANA. That's what you're saying.
in S4 HANA from scratch, we can't build anything.
Okay.
We
Okay.
can build only something. I mean to say from scratch we can't build everything, but something we can do it, like some sort of settings and everything. Let's
Some
say for
sort of setting.
example,
If
yeah,
we, so
some
now
port.
we are providing some server access. So we can do something, we can enable some integration or something like that if it is integrated. So the server that you provide, whether it is integrated, so we can disable the integration and then test and we can enable the integration between the two systems and check. Can we do those in your server that you provide?
uh that we need to check actually, because these servers is multiple people, right? That we need to check actually. But basically in
Oh,
CAG portal you can create your required settings, like you can create some test projects, you can try to send the data to thing. But SAP is a one time enable. Let's say for example, if I come here, right? Yeah. Enable integration via middleware. This is one time it is enabled. If you go
mm,
and disable, and if you want to re-enable, right? What will happen if you disable? Whatever the things already, everything will be lost actually. So that's the thing. This cannot be recreated. Like enable integration via middleware, installing some packages. See how things will work. These cannot be done. But you can create multiple ports in the, sorry, you can create some ports, required ports in SAP. Like I mean to say, in SAP you can recreate only some sort of settings, not everything. Because if you want to recreate everything, whatever the things which were existing will be lost, and that, that might cause a problem because this system will be multiple people actually, like multiple testings. So that complete scratch setting from SAP is not possible, but something you can do it. That's all. But Ariba, you can do it like CAG, you can play everything.
no, CAG you can play everything. There you
Yeah,
can play everything,
CAG.
and there,
Yep.
okay, there you will show how to play with the system, right?
Yeah, in CAG
Yes.
you can create different projects and everything, uh, and we can try to send the data and see. Yep. But you already know, right? Basically, these test systems might give you some errors while sending data and everything. But at least whatever, let's say for example, implementation, whatever you do, in Ariba side we can recreate, even though it will work fine and send to SAP or not. We are not completely sure because of the different settings. But we can recreate many things in SAP. I mean in Ariba, sorry, in the CIG Ariba, but in SAP we can't recreate much. Like yeah, because in SAP these are only mostly one-time settings actually.
So
If you
who will do
remove
the one time?
when the system implementation started, like I mean
When
the
the
initial.
implementation?
So basically, this server, right? Basically, this server uh, was used by multiple vendors actually. So the primary owner, I mean, the primary vendor is there, right? That vendor already implemented the CIG. I mean, the settings were done. So those people have done. So what we are doing, basically, we are just using the system and checking the required settings, and we are recreating what we can recreate. That's all.
Okay. But you will show in the system what and all we can recreate in S4
Yeah.
HANA as well as in the same I
As well
can
as,
the same with the server we can do the same thing, right?
huh.
Okay.
But there might be
Okay.
very
Okay.
less restrictions because it's already system already built, right? So let's say for example, maintenance section something, some hybrid this we cannot disturb. If you disturb, right, what will happen? Entire system will collapse actually. If I disable the in right? So as many vendors will work, right? That might create some confusion actually. So whatever we can do, we can recreate. Some we cannot like.
Okay.
And
So
as
I have
Ariba
one more.
consultant, yeah, yeah, sure, continue.
Yeah. So once we complete this course, right? So
Hmm.
we can apply for jobs of CIG integration consultant also, right?
Yeah, you can.
Hmm.
Only
Okay.
thing,
So
once we complete something, right, you should go through this document and then you should refer the Ariba implementation guide and you should know the recent changes and everything. Then you can track the interview, you can do it. But yeah,
hmm.
from the customer to customer, those custom fields, those things you will be having little hiccups. That's all. General thing you can do it like, let's say for example, CIG thing. First thing you need to go to SAP Ariba, they'll enable something. Okay, then you come to SAP. In SAP, enable middleware setting for CIG. Then go to your CIG portal. There enable CIG. There create your basic data, send it from SAP. So these things will be same for whatever the client. The differentiation will happen is basically the mappings and those things that you need to learn based on the customer, and you need to do some R&D on that actually. But the general thing of continuous systems will be same. Like only thing, see, let's say for example, in one client they're creating the port something called 400. They're using some different ports because they security reason, and some clients might use different ports. They'll enable some different ports.
Correct.
And one more thing, if you are not, let's say for example, you are you know much about the web services, okay, and the CXML, those things, if you know much, right, these things will be much easier for you actually. I mean, if you are something, not only Ariba or CAG, if you are some person you have a good knowledge integration, these things will look much easier for you. I mean, to say, let's say for example, I will say this web services, this inbound outbound ports. So the integration persons it will be much easier. And whereas a normal consultant, they need to go a little deeper. That's all. They need to understand. Okay, web service is something. Okay, it will carry the data. Okay, this is inbound. This is outbound. This is some port logical system. So for the integration person, it will be much familiar. But the Ariba consultant for us, it will be some new words. We need to understand little on that actually.
Yeah, because this is something called technical, so that is functional, right? Or even consultants will do not know that.
Yeah, this is technical exactly. See,
So this is
basically,
completely.
any yeah. So to make it clear, earlier, yeah, whatever I will start with this, you'll get the yeah. I'll start with first slide, then you'll get some much answers on that. Yeah, yeah. So you can see my screen, right? CN and CAG. Okay. Okay. So
Yes, yes.
earlier it was CN9. Okay, basically. So you have your SAP system. Okay, and you have your Ariba system. And basically, why you connect the SAP Ariba to SAP is basically many clients, your SAP is your master system. So all the legacy systems should be connected to your SAP system. Okay, so you are connecting SAP Ariba to SAP because you want all your transaction data should be sent to SAP, and you want the master data from SAP to Ariba. That's the global thing. Whatever the maybe Oracle or something, whatever the tool, every customer will have a master system and n number of legacy system. These two systems will be integrated. Why? Because the master data should flow from the master system to legacy system, and all the transaction data should flow from your legacy system to your master system. Why? Because your source of truth means the source of data is always from the master system. And another thing, you want to record all the transactions in the master system because for auditing or ongoing to see everything, it's not, let's say you have 50 legacy systems which was not integrated in the master system, right? You should pull out 50 reports. It's a lot of headache work. Like, I mean, functionally, accounting, everything. So this is globally, like might be Oracle or something. So this was happening. So SAP to SAP is connecting the between, you have in CNN, right? You have SAP PAPO, the middleware, like SAP integration thing, PAPO. Okay. Here, what will happen, right? From Ariba, the document will flow from to PAPO. From PAPO, the conversion will happen, it will go to SAP. So in between, you have the middleware SAP PAPO. Okay. And basically here, let's say for example, when the CNN was there, if a PR or PO, I mean, if the PR got stuck or something happened, right? Every time for a payload or something, you need to go to SAP PAPO consultant. That SAP PAPO consultant will have couple of T codes like SMB money. There will be some T code for the middleware actually. They will check the payloads and do something. So when are the basic stuff also they need to reach out to the SAP PAPO consultants. Okay, this was happening. So when the CAG came, CAG agenda is to basically the Ariba consultant, the functional consultant should do the integration. So most of the settings are predefined in Ariba. I mean CAG. So with the basic technical knowledge, an Ariba consultant should do the integration. And when the CAG came, right, when things, if you want to get any payload, you want to see any data, right, you can go to the transaction tracker. So basically, the CAG purpose is basically the Ariba consultant with basic technical knowledge should do the integration.
Okay. Just a second. Can you just download this PDF into your computer, and can you open in PDF if possible?
Should I zoom it or like?
No, just open in PDF Acrobat. Okay, I think you don't have this Acrobat,
Yeah,
or you need to click on Open with PDF or something.
yeah, let me try.
Go to File Explorer. Maybe you need to open PDF. No, second one. Yeah, open with PDF. No, no. Again, yeah, accept. Yeah, accept. Yeah. Now, can you click on Control L? Possible.
Control
Control
L.
L. Now it is clear. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So that's what I mentioned. Like earlier in the CNN, right? We had the middle SAP PFPO. So whatever
Yeah,
the integration issue happened, right? I think it is getting close actually.
getting close.
Yep.
Okay, you can open in this thing only browser if possible. Yeah.
Now it's better. Like I just zoomed in something.
Yeah. No, now it is better. Yes.
So if you can see, right, yeah, you have CNN, you have the middleware SAP PAPO, where the CXM message will flow from SAP to Ariba and Ariba to SAP. And here you require a SAP PAPO consultant. But
Yeah, if
coming to,
possible, I'm like I do not know the basics here. From SAP IDOC, what is IDOC? What is like PI? Something. If you can explain that part,
yeah, yeah, sure.
maybe that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you can see the architecture here, right, you have here SAP, this is SAP ERP or S/4HANA, okay? And to the
Oh,
right, you have your Ariba system, okay? So now you want
okay.
to send your data from the master data from SAP to Ariba and the transaction data from SAP Ariba to SAP. That's called Ariba and SAP.
So
Okay, to
before
avoid the confusion.
CIG would this is before CIG that
Yeah,
the process
earlier.
that you
Yeah. Then here what is
earlier.
happening? The CXML message from Ariba is flowing to PIPO. In the PIPO, the conversion will happen, which the XAP will accept, and the data was going
Oh,
to SAP.
PO, what is PIPO?
Process integration.
Okay.
SAP
What is that?
PI.
Can you just two lines?
Process integration. Process integration.
So what is it? Is it a middleware like something
It's
like
a
that?
middleware like SAP PI is a middleware tool which is meant for integration.
Okay, okay,
It's
okay.
an integration
Fine.
middleware. Let's say, for example, you want to integrate your SAP system to some other system. SAP PI is a middleware integration tool, like which is from SAP side.
So that PI is to transmit that the job of the PI is to transmit data between one system to other system. Is it from
Exactly.
SAP to SAP? Is it from SAP to SAP system, or it can be transferred from SAP to non-SAP also?
Non-SAP as well.
Non-SAP as well.
Yes. Yes. SAP PI
Okay.
is SAP wala integration tool actually in the market.
Okay.
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 Uh,
Okay.
But we can't say it will support all non-SAP tools. Some tools might have restriction, right? So,
Mhm.
but most of the things we can do it, but some tools we can't. Let's say, for example, even SAP Ariba, right? We can integrate to SAP. We can integrate to Oracle. We can integrate to PeopleSoft. So, our Ariba can be integrated to many of the ERP solutions, but with some solution it can't be integrated. Some restrictions will be there. Such a way, SAP PI is the integration tool of SAP, uh, which can integrate to most of the non-SAP systems.
So it is a middle person. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, integration middleware. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay.
and if you
Before
can
it
see in
was
the
that.
CAG, right, the CAG
Hmm.
portal is within your Ariba. And one more thing, the CAG is free of cost.
Free of cost. Okay.
Yep,
So free of cost in the sense, so if I buy any module of Ariba, they will provide me the CIG free of cost.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
And if you can
With the
observe
latest,
earlier, you should
with the
have
latest,
some.
I don't think they'll provide.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
And if you can see the architecture earlier, there is SAP PAP in the middle. Okay. So if this was implemented and if the support was happening, for sure we should have the SAP PA consultant to get some payloads, do some monitoring and everything. But now if you implement CIG, right, you don't require any PA consultant. Ariba consultant can simply go to the transaction tracker and see everything. If you got some error, right, he can go to SAP Ariba support team. So basically, with the change of architecture, right, we are minimizing the cost. First thing, there a separate middleware can not required. Okay, let's say for example, when it is CNN, right, some system might use some other tool instead of SAP PA, right? They might use some other integration tool. Okay, so when it comes to
Hmm.
CIG, you don't have any middleware tool. That was your cost saving. And also while monitoring, right, the Ariba consultant can directly search the transaction track and do everything.
Okay. Okay. So do you require MMs also, MM and MM and ABAP, right? Require?
Sorry, for
You require MM and
MM,
ABAP also
for what?
for implementing CIG consultants.
Yeah, to make it clear, right, for implementing CIG, so basically, there should be settings done in SAP, and we should do settings in Ariba CIG. Okay, basically, we require the Ariba consultant or the CIG consultant, whoever it might be. Okay, other thing, we require SAP MM consultant, we require the basis consultant as well, because we need to install some certificates and everything for the integration.
Okay.
And we also be in, and also one person from the SAP team, like SAP Ariba team, will be supporting you for uh, sending the required links to install. And if you get some error, right, you need to reach to particular person.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If, let's say, for example, you know SAP MM as well, Ariba as well, then you will be the person who working, and along with you, the basis consultant will be there, and you'll be coordinating with the basis consultant and also with the SAP Ariba team also.
Okay.
In some cases, right, you'll be having MM consultant, Ariba consultant. You'll also have the integration consultant. You'll also have the business consultant. Depends on the project. Like the person and the capability of everything, one person can handle. Like,
Hmm. Okay.
and one more thing, right? If it is SAP PA integration, the integration might take much longer. But if it's Ariba CIG, right, 80% of
Mhm.
the things are predefined. 80% things are predefined. Like I mean, the mappings and everything. So if you are doing some CIG implementation, right, hardly it will take 3 to 6 months. Why? Because now your CIG is already within your Ariba. So whatever the required setting, most of the settings are already pre-configured by the tool itself, like for the backend. You need to
Okay.
only know to how to send the data, what to settings should be created, those stuff like. The work was minimized here actually.
Okay. Okay. It is in CIG. What is this IDOC web services SOAP? What is the difference? Like, what is the specification? What is IDOC? What is SOAP? I'm sorry, I'm just asking you the basics.
Yeah. See, basically, iDocs are the document carriers, and web service is the connection type. We have web service connection. We have also direct connectivity, indirect connectivity, the connection type, like okay, and SOAP is the message pattern name. Its full form is something will be there. So these are completely the integration stuff. I mean, the integration basic things like, and the CXML like message.
So SOAP is like simple object access protocol. That is SOAP.
Yeah,
Okay.
protocol. Yeah. It's a message
Oh,
actually.
okay. Okay. So this CIG uses XML format, is it?
Yeah, Ariba. See, basically, the format of Ariba is CXML. If you download any payloads, okay, from the CAG, you can get the stuff in CXML. Like the Ariba payloads will be in CXML actually, or Ariba
So
transaction.com. CXML.
CXML to CX. Okay. No,
Yep.
CXML to CXML, is it? Or the documents are
Can you come back again? CXML?
CXML. Ariba also sends CXML. SAP also receives CXML via CIG. Correct?
Yep.
There is no conversion in between.
I think SAP basically accepted XML. Whereas Ariba is basically CXML. Like not much of it. Similar formats are there. Like, these are the file formats like CXML, XML, right?
So Ariba sends CXML format. SAP
Yep.
receives XML.
Yep.
So after conversion of CIG, input is given as XML, output is taken as XML.
Yep.
Okay, okay, okay. That I will note down somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
So this is our complete design will be such a way. So basically with the document and everything, right? We will show the required settings. And only thing, as I mentioned, right? As we have already pre-built test system, right? We can't create much or recreate much in the SAP. We can see the required setting in Ariba. I can't say like we can create 100%, but most of the things we can create in Sage portal. You can create a project. You can play the transaction tracker, and basically as a Ariba consultant, right, our focus basically on will be much on the CAG portal, like so apart from knowing SAP settings, right, the more focus as a CAG consultant should be on the CAG portal. So in the CAG portal you should understand how to create projects, how to monitor, how to create some test cases and something everything.
Okay, but in S4HANA also we need to create something, right?
Yeah,
That
settings,
is
yeah,
minimal.
yeah, the minimum knowledge you should have, yeah, right. But you'll do
Okay,
everything like
that is
what whatever the SAP consultant was doing, even those things will be going now. Yeah, will be going to each and every step like. But that
so.
particular steps understanding will be different for even for you or me. Like say for example, I will say in SAP we will create some port definition. Basically, we didn't know what is our port or something. Right? The namings might be little. tricky for us, but we'll go through everything like complete package like. So the agenda is like at the end, if someone asks you what is CIG, you need to be able to say it. Other thing, okay, how the CIG implementation start? First thing, SAP Ariba will enable the things, and SAP I need to enable the middleware. And from SAP, these are the required settings. From Ariba, these are the required settings. This is the goal. Such a way should be get such a knowledge. Such a way will be covering.
Okay. Okay. So, so that there are types of custom mappings that needs to be done. So all the custom mappings will be taught, right?
See, basically, in CIG, like most of the things, mapping is already predefined. When you have more custom fields, more specifically, then only mapping will be there. So in your test system, right, I need to re-verify whether there is some custom fields that I can show you the settings or create something. If we don't have, right, that we need to see search from online do something actually like.
Hmm. Okay.
And then also
So we
just
will
check
get,
this.
yeah, we will get this document and recordings after the course, right?
Yeah,
Or
this
how is it
document.
like?
Yeah. So
So
once
this
we
is a
done, you get
standard.
the recording and also document as well.
This is a standard document across CIG, this thing, right? But SAP has like if I go to SAP site and have some CIG documents, but there the documents are more not able to understand only.
Yeah, right. So
All the
basically, yeah, from the document when we had an implementation, right, we took the screenshot like basically for future purpose like.
no, it is very high level. Any normal layman cannot understand.
Exactly. Even
What?
that's the initial problem my for me as well like. So lot of R&D should be done like that is the problem like. The CAG, the two things is first thing we don't get the server. Second thing, even if you want to learn something theoretical, right, the document will be too longer. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah. So how do we learn
backdrop.
it?
Yeah, that's the
Hmm.
thing. From that document, we have put this document in 70% everything. Like, I mean to say, let's say in future you got some project, right? With this document, you can uh, do the implementation of CIG. Like, only thing, the custom mapping, couple of points I can say 80% with this document you can do it, 20% you need to put your effects that's all from the standard document.
So this is the custom document prepared by you after
Yeah,
doing R&D.
after doing some implementation, like this is the live document which you had done implementation of some local can past ago, like some years ago. See if you can see, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have blurred
But
everything.
this is valid till date. This is valid till date. Any changes that they have made, any updates they have made, or any configuration upgrades they have made.
Mostly same, but only couple of changes like the custom mappings, the document lengths, some more settings have been enabled actually. That will be
Okay,
changing on
that
time to time. Yeah.
those settings are enabled by the consultants or by the Ariba itself.
Ariba itself, like on the back end.
Ariba itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to understand the things and actually those particular things like I was saying right with this the thing we might not it's 100% but 80% we can do. Rest 20% you need to search. Let's say for example you want to get more info on the port definition. Then you need to go to the particular standard document which is too longer. As long as you go with the document, if you want more information, you go there. That's the way of learning working actually.
Hmm. Okay.
Because
Okay.
if you want to
Okay.
learn from
Fine.
that particular document, right, it will take a lot of time and it will be too tricky to learn something. But with this document, if you after the training, if you have some glance on this document, right, if someone asks you, you can simply explain. Okay, CIG. Okay, this is the portal. Earlier, this is the architecture. First step will be SAP should enable something. Then we'll go to SAP. We'll enable the middleware setting. Then you come to Ariba portal and you enable CIG. Then in SAP you create some code definition. In Ariba you come create some code, send data. You send the master data. So you can able to tell those things actually.
So CIG gateway. Oh, so where is Cloud Connector? Cloud Connector is CIG only that you showed.
Yeah, within the CIG like you said.
Okay, okay. So now just you have explained the overview of SAP CIG, and
Mhm.
once the class starts, we will start with the module one, getting started with CIG, introduction to CIG, and then Cloud Connector, so on, so on, so on, so.
Yep.
Right? according to the
Yep.
syllabus that you have mentioned on
The
your
syllabus
website.
basically, we basically mostly concentrate on this document. Like I mean, because this document have the from start to the end, each and every implementation step. So with this document, along with the system, we will continue training. And if something
Hmm.
can be recreated in the training itself, recreate something. Post the training, you can refer the document. You can recreate something in CIG, SAP. You can view the required settings. Yeah.
Hmm. So Ariba network integration I will learn. Ariba applications integration I will learn. So then after that, the migration and all you have mentioned in the module 9. So that also I will learn, right?
Uh, those not completely, but the overview. Like the only thing we mostly cover is like the integration of SAP with Ariba with the help of CAG. Like
Okay, that's what. But what about Ariba business network integration?
even that can be covered. Like basically in this document we have that for. So Ariba integration basically it is done for uh, direct procurement. Let's say for example you are having the direct procurement from SAP to Ariba network. Then you want to use CIG middleware that will come in the picture.
So you are going to cover that or you are not going to cover?
That will that will cover on the even that will cover, but that will not take much actually. So see, basically the CAG mostly will be used for the integration from SAP to sorry Ariba to SAP, and even if you are integrating your SAP system to Ariba network for the direct procurement, if you want to put as a middleware CAG, you can put it. It's not required. Even that if the CAG in the middle
Yeah,
of the
that
both, right? Even that we can cover like what are the required settings. Even that we have in this
understood.
document actually.
That is a client requirement. But
Yeah.
what you teach also it will be covered or not? Like custom what
Yeah.
you teach because you have mentioned syllabus that we will cover Ariba network integration also
Yeah. Even that we
via
cover. Yeah.
CI. So I know like client doesn't choose. Client it's up to the client they choose or they do
Yeah.
not choose. That is trivial for me. But
Yeah.
for from your teaching, from your end, I just require that network integration also. That's why I'm just
Yeah.
asking you.
Yeah. Sure.
Because you have mentioned in the syllabus, right? So that's why I'm
Yeah.
just
But
asking you.
the thing is, yeah, the only one thing is, uh, we don't have the Ariba system with us actually. That is surprise login, right? So that settings
Yeah.
we can't show in the Ariba network, but in SAP, what are the required settings can done that can be shown, and the document we can show. Like that's the only one concern here actually. You got a
Yeah,
point, right?
that yeah, yeah. I got your point. But
Ariba
for
network we
Ariba
don't have.
network integration, you will show what has to be done in CIG, what has to be done in S4HANA for Ariba network integration. That you will show. But in Ariba
Yeah, yeah,
network, you don't have access to Ariba network, you may not be
exactly. Yeah.
able to go the
Show. Yeah.
Ariba network configuration. But now
Yeah.
I
Right.
require only Ariba CIG network configuration and Ariba and S4HANA configuration for connecting to Ariba network.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That
So
will
that
do.
you will show. And
Yeah,
after
that will
that,
happen.
you will also show sourcing transaction integration, what you have mentioned. Sourcing upstream, how do you integrate? And procurement integration. And then the stock, then you have, it says import ERP initiated purchase requisition and stock availability in reservation. I don't have any idea of that too.
Those
So,
actually we see basically those we actually as of now don't have such access actually. The vendors got changed. So basically, what access we have is basically in the CAG integration between SAP to SAP Ariba. Other thing, Ariba network integration, which we can show in SAP and in CAG, but we don't have Ariba network actually. And apart from that,
mhm.
whatever the stock and everything, it is also come into the direct procurement. Basically, we don't have Ariba network access side. Those we are unable to cover actually.
Yeah, but I understood. But the sourcing transaction integration and procurement transaction integration you will show.
Yeah, yeah, that's completely that's what right. SAP to uh, Ariba
CIG.
integration. Yeah, yeah, that's the
Yes,
main thing.
yes, for okay. So main in the sourcing transaction integration, SLP also we use, right?
Yeah,
SLP. So this sourcing transaction integration means SLP, contract and sourcing. Three of them you will show how to integrate
Yeah,
to
upstream.
S/4HANA.
See, basically, when we do the integration CIG portal, right? Let's say you need to create integration project. So while creation of integration project, you will have three things, three options.
Mm,
One is network connection. That is
mm,
putting your CIG between your SAP and Ariba network. Okay. Second thing,
mm,
you will have the procurement. Third thing is your upstream all together. Like
mm,
you're having three
mm,
connections. Like whenever you're creating it, integration point, right? You have three things. First thing, the downstream procurement. Second thing, the upstream. It might be called as sourcing and contracts. The naming might be different. Like let's say, for example, your customer only chooses sourcing. It will only show as sourcing for you from the backend. If you have everything, it will show as
mm,
sourcing and contracts. Like
mm, mm.
and
Okay,
some
okay.
systems, it will be showing as strategic sourcing. Strategic sourcing nothing but the combination of sourcing and contracts.
Mm,
I mean, the client was
okay,
having sourcing and contract, right? In combination, it's a strategic sourcing.
okay, okay. But what is the reason that you made this CIG a separate module instead of clubbing into the mainstream Ariba itself? What is the reason that you made it to separate module?
See, if all together, right? It will see even covering a 20 hours is quite difficult. Only CHE. If you club everything, right? Uh, you
Mm,
can then you'll have everything only basic level, not at the medium level. Let's say. Uh,
mm,
but if you want to, let's say, if you the agenda is, let's say, for example, if you want to learn upstream, what will our focus will be? We will just cover a couple of days for all the overview. What are the different then we mostly concentrate on upstream. Same way, if you want CAG, right, we will just cover everything. Then we'll jump into CAG.
mm, mm,
Because if you want to learn something, one part of Ariba, you should be aware of the complete architecture initially. If you don't know what is upstream, downstream, learning CAG doesn't matter because you are integrating your upstream and downstream in SAP. If you don't know the names of the basic stuff about that, right, even though I say something CAG, POs and these things, you'll not understand. Same way,
correct,
like
correct.
even, even if you want to go at some upstream thing, in upstream, let's say content, I will say I will send the content request from CAG to SAP, which will create auto agreement. If you don't know that
Mm.
CAG thing, you will be blank again. Community integration something technically.
So at least
And
some basics if I know about upstream. See, I worked on sourcing also. I
Mhm.
worked on contract. I worked on little bit SLP, not pura
Okay.
SLP. Now I'm
Mm.
working on downstream, my current
Mm.
project.
Mhm.
So I'm working on Ariba Business Network also, day in, day
Mhm.
out. In S/4HANA also I work. I use CIG transaction tracker, but I don't know the configurations and whatever add-ons or whatever, वगैरह वगैरह.
Mhm.
So, so I think I might understand a little bit more. I would feel, right?
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine.
And if you
Yeah.
want to cover everything in deeper, right, it will take like 3 to 5 months. Like even it might take years as well. Like if you keep on
Yeah. Yeah.
learning,
Yeah.
right, but it will just get more things also.
So
And the agenda
compared
is
to
like,
other institute,
mm,
what the other institute is doing, like they have included the only the overview of CIG and the integration, some part of integration, some part of integration, and then they have included the whole module itself. So that is why I asked you why do you keep a
yeah,
separate
yeah.
module for
Because
CIG?
for those initially, what was actually exactly happening? Even initially for us, right? Even initially, also don't have the CAG system actually. The getting CAG server is quite difficult in the market. Even at that time, right? We used to take as like Ariba training. We used to have three things. First is Ariba training, which we will cover in a, I mean, not on a overview, not like medium, like some beginner level. We cover everything like Ariba upstream and downstream.
Mm,
Then we have specific such a, let's say if one person comes and say I want to learn upstream. Then we are teaching and spending more hours on upstream. Let's say some person I want to only downstream by project in such a way. We're doing such a way. So what are the thing?
mm,
We used to just give the CAG overview like this is CAG and everything. That's all. Because earlier we also don't have the system actually to show something and everything. If you don't have
mm,
system or if you don't have any predefined document, we can hardly
mm,
speak on CAG one or two places. That's all right. You don't have any. customized document. You don't have system, but you still
Mm.
want
Right.
to cover the CIG. You can only cover the overview, which is hardly 1 hour or something. That's all.
Mm. Okay, so
So
you did
earlier,
not have the system,
yeah,
cover.
in the starting, even we also don't have the system. Even at that time, we only just given the whatever I told you, right? How differentiate everything. Only this
Mm.
extent, and also one more class we should say the series that's all. Like hardly 2 days of series that's all. With
Mm.
some that's all. But now we have the system. We are going to see the deeper, and we'll cover the basic things for everything. We'll go see the deeper like that's all.
Mm. Okay. 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 Fine.
And even getting this access is
So
quite difficult actually. Yeah. So even earlier people
no,
came for CIG,
there are
but they're
these
unable to. We don't have
there
access
are these
earlier.
there are these YouTube videos they teach in 2 hours they teach the entire configuration, but you know, so I don't know the difference. I don't know how do they cover in 2 hours, 1.5 hour. Entire CAG they will cover it in
Yeah,
YouTube.
simply they will show the document. Whatever the document I have, they might run the same the document like partially. Similar document
But
only.
that doesn't serve the purpose, right?
Yeah, right, right. That will only help for the people already who know the series, that's not the people who exactly want to learn.
Okay, okay, fine. So, so yeah, so Naveen is there in the call. So, so this is about demo, or is this another person joining, or how is the timings? So I'll just pay the that fees or whatever it is. I'll just finish that formalities, and we will get
Yeah, just
started
talk
from
with Naveen
Monday,
like
or
that. Yeah, for the other person, I will talk with Naveen and he will update you like
yeah,
that.
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
okay, fine,
Yeah, bye.
fine then. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.